Let's cut through the noise for a second. You're here because you want happiness, chasing it like a dog chasing its tail, thinking if you just run a little faster, you'll finally catch it. But what if I told you Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, hated the idea of happiness as you know it? Not because he was a joyless cynic, but because he saw through the illusion. He knew that the modern obsession with happiness is a trap, a fleeting distraction from what truly matters. And if you're honest with yourself, you know it too. How many times have you reached for happiness? Through money, success, relationships, only to feel empty when the high wears off. Marcus didn't chase happiness. He chased meaning. And that's the brutal truth most people refuse to face. Think about it. When was the last time you were truly at peace? Not just temporarily pleased, not just distracted by entertainment or dopamine hits, but deeply, unshakably content. The Stoics knew that happiness, as the world sells it, is a fragile illusion. It's dependent on external things, things you can't control. Your job, your relationships, your bank account, even your health. All of it can be ripped away in an instant. And if your sense of fulfillment is tied to those things, you're building your life on quicksand. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the core of Stoicism. Stop chasing feelings. Start building character. Because happiness that depends on circumstance is just luck. But fulfillment that comes from within, that's mastery. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You've been lied to. Society tells you happiness is the goal, the finish line, the reward for grinding hard enough. But Marcus Aurelius saw happiness as a side effect of living with virtue, not the target. The Stoics practiced a more fatty love of fate, not because they were masochists, but because they understood that true power lies in embracing everything, the good and the bad, with equanimity. You want happiness? Fine. But first, ask yourself, what are you willing to endure? What pain are you willing to face? Because if you're not strong enough to handle suffering, you'll never be strong enough to handle real joy. The modern world has turned happiness into a commodity, something to be consumed. But Marcus knew it was a byproduct of courage, discipline, and self-mastery. So ask yourself, are you chasing a feeling, or are you building a life? Let me hit you with a hard question. What if happiness isn't the point? What if the relentless pursuit of it is actually making you miserable? The Stoics didn't avoid pain. They leaned into it. They trained themselves to find strength in adversity because they knew comfort was the enemy of growth. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, faced betrayals, wars, plagues. Yet his writings reveal a man who found peace not in victory, but in acceptance. He wrote, "The obstacle is the way, not a bumper sticker platitude, but a battle-tested philosophy." You want to live deeply? Stop running from discomfort. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions to be happy. The perfect condition is now, with all its flaws, all its chaos, all its uncertainty. Because happiness that can't survive hardship isn't happiness at all. It's delusion. Here's where most people fail. They think happiness is something to be found, like a hidden treasure. But Marcus Aurelius knew it was something to be cultivated through action, through virtue, through relentless self-improvement. He didn't wake up feeling motivated. He woke up and did the work anyway. That's the difference between amateurs and masters. Amateurs wait for inspiration. Masters create it through discipline. You think the great philosophers, the warriors, the artists of history were happy every day. No, they were too busy doing to care. So ask yourself, are you waiting for happiness to strike you like lightning? Or are you forging it through daily effort? Because the truth is, happiness isn't a destination. It's a byproduct of a life well lived. Let's get brutally honest. Your obsession with happiness is making you weak. You've been conditioned to believe that discomfort is the enemy, that pain is a sign you're doing something wrong. But the Stoics knew better. They trained themselves to welcome hardship because that's where growth happens. Marcus Aurelius didn't hate happiness. He hated the weakness that comes from chasing it blindly. He wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way. You want fulfillment? Stop avoiding the hard things. Embrace the grind, the struggle, the moments that test you. Because the person you become on the other side of hardship is infinitely more valuable than any fleeting feeling of happiness." Here's the paradox. The less you chase happiness, the more it finds you, but not in the way you expect. It's not the giddy, temporary high of a new purchase or a vacation. It's the quiet, unshakable satisfaction of knowing you're living with integrity. Marcus Aurelius didn't need applause or external validation. He had something far more powerful, self-respect. And that's what's missing in the modern world. People are drowning in pleasure but starving for purpose. They're addicted to comfort but terrified of true challenge. The Stoics didn't seek happiness. They sought excellence. And in that pursuit, they found something far greater: inner peace. So here's the challenge. Stop asking, "How can I be happy?" Start asking, "How can I be stronger?" Because strength, mental, emotional, spiritual, is the foundation of everything. Marcus Aurelius didn't waste time wishing for better circumstances. He used his circumstances to forge his character. And that's the choice you face every day. Will you whine about what you can't control, or will you dominate what you can? Will you seek happiness like a beggar, or will you create meaning like a warrior? The clock is ticking. The world doesn't need more people chasing happiness. It needs more people building legacies. Final truth. Happiness is overrated. Fulfillment is eternal. Marcus Aurelius knew that the only real failure is failing to live with virtue. So drop the childish pursuit of constant pleasure. Embrace the grind. Face the discomfort. Build something that outlasts your fleeting emotions. Because when you're on your deathbed, you won't remember the days you were happy. You'll remember the days you were alive. And that's the Stoic truth you needed to hear. Now, what are you going to do about it?